Hi, everyone. We are now on air. This is once again another one of my monthly live coaching webinars. Every month, I coach a couple of people around various subjects for the Powerful Men's Group. And so, again, this month, I'm joined. Well, for the first time, I'm joined by Sebastian. We've only got one person this month. We were supposed to have Nick, but we didn't hear back from him. But that's okay. It means Sebastian, you get me all to yourself. So I'll wait. If I think everyone who said they were going to be on air is on air. So great to have people. It's working fine today. It's a nice change. Sometimes we tend to have problems with this technology, but it's working great. So that's awesome. So what would you like coaching on today, Sebastian?
It would be about relationships and women in specific. And yeah, I may just start with introducing the topic. So the thing was, I was in a relationship until 1.5 years ago. And since then, I haven't had sex, which is fine for me. It was a bit like too heavy and I really needed time for myself. But now people are approaching me in a way that I kind of feel like they tell me that I should be in a relationship or that I should have sex. And I feel that I have like these very high standards for women to enter my life, or like I have fallen in love only twice in my 26 years on Earth. And yeah, now I feel like there should happen something, or I don't know, like if this beautiful girl will show up that I feel connected to. So right now I don't really know, like in this area, where I want to go. I feel like the career area of my life is going pretty well. I know where the direction is going to, but with women it feels like that I'm a bit lost, actually.
So what would you like to get out of this call? What would be helpful to you? It might sound like an obvious question, but you say other people are telling you that you should have a relationship or should be having sex. You say you're feeling a bit lost. What would be a good outcome for you from this conversation?
Actually, it's not that easy, to be honest. I feel torn between going after my passion and living my purpose, going for like world peace, and then finding the time to meet girls in a way. Like I feel like that to have a more realistic outlook on what it takes to be in a relationship, or what it takes to meet girls would be fine.
Well, do you want to meet girls? Do you want to have a relationship right now?
Actually, I'm not really sure about it. Like the last relationship was very heavy. Like I said, I felt like it was almost like all the time I thought about the relationship in the end, if I want to end it or if I want to continue it. And it was not very light. It was not so playful in the end. And if I would be in a relationship, or if I would imagine a beautiful relationship, it would be that it was playful. It was like person. Then it's great, but you also have a life apart from the relationship. So that you spend beautiful time together, but also have that I also have the time for my passions.
Do you feel like a relationship right now would take you away from your passions?
Somehow it felt in the previous relationship like it was like this, and a friend of mine, she told me that I kind of got lost during the relationship, that I was not the same as before. I was not as lighthearted as I was before, and that I kind of just put all the energy in the relationship to make it work and try to fix it all the time when there was a discussion. I also know that since then, like 1.5 years have passed, and I'm more mature, or I'm more able to, like, I'm more at peace with myself, and also with having arguments or with not agreeing all the time. And I would say that I would handle a relationship much better, or it would be easier for me to not get lost. Which does not sound like the most beautiful thing to imagine a relationship. Yeah.
So do you think you might be avoiding a relationship right now?
I also thought the same, yeah. I mean, when I was today reflecting on this area, I was not really sure what a relationship could bring to my life, like apart from not apart from sex, but I feel torn between like the benefits of it. Like right now, it feels like there are definitely benefits, like the sexual life, and also like that you have someone to spend the evening together, and like not be on my own at times, and also a travel buddy. But I still feel that the negative aspects of my previous relationship are kind of holding me back. Yeah.
It sounds like you are analyzing relationships very transactionally. So these are like what someone can give me, like real key benefits, and this is what's a negative side of it, and trying to balance it up. And are you open to viewing relationships in maybe a slightly different way?
It would be beneficial, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I interviewed Michael Neal last year, and Michael Neal said, you know, I think he was told by someone that the purpose of a relationship is simply to enjoy the other person's company.
Yeah, I feel that I make it complicated in what a relationship means, or that I like in the previous relationship, at one point I felt that it's not really working, but I wanted to make it work in a way, and this was very exhausting. So I still feel like that the enjoyment part was, I got like away from that, and it was more like work. So I feel what Michael said. Like I know that this is the direction to look into, but I also feel that right now like you said, I'm avoiding it, or I'm still like hooked onto the experience from the past.
See, in my opinion, and it's just an opinion, is that you don't need to do anything with regards to relationships. I mean, just because some people tell you you should be in a relationship or you should be having sex, that's just their opinion. But you don't need to do anything. You can do whatever you'd like to do. But it seems interesting that if you, or what I can imagine is if that you view relationships as something that's hard work, then you may avoid it. As you try and weigh it up, transactionally, what will I get from a relationship? What's the benefit? If the benefit's only sex, but it's all this hard work, then maybe I want to avoid that. Then that would weigh into your decision. But if the purpose of a relationship is simply to enjoy the other person, then you can drop all that other stuff and make it far more simple for yourself. And then if you were to meet someone then you can choose to just enjoy them.
You know, when I started out meeting girls, I was like pretty late, and I was very shy. It was always like work, 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 work. Like going out, meeting girls, approaching them, getting rejected, and I stressed myself a lot out. And it was always my goal to have sex, whatever, to lose my virginity. And then I got to the point where I met a girl and I really fell in love with her. Like it was just a two-week relationship in Brazil, but it was still that I felt so connected to this girl. And then I met my last girlfriend, like that I also fell in love with right away. And like I think the fear that I also have, which probably makes me now a bit emotional or like stressing out about the relationship stuff, is that I just have met two girls that I consider to be in a relationship with. Like that's what I now see or feel, and it feels like there's the lack of women that fit to me, or at least like that I have access to, or that I talk to, or whatever. And yeah.
Why is that important?
I mean, I say no to a lot of girls, even though I feel that they like me, because my body tells me it's not working. And so most of the time, even though like girls are attracted to me, I don't feel it, or I feel like there a lot of stuff or whatever has to be aligned that I kind of satisfied or whatever. And maybe it comes from the porn addiction or whatever, like that was discussed 2 weeks ago in the Powerful Men's group. And I also realized that I got away from this porn addiction and realized, okay, I quit it for forever. And it works, and I kind of feel more into myself and also more towards women, like in the last few days, that I'm more connected with myself and also not fantasizing about ideal woman. Yeah. So I see that there is a kind of like more natural way now of looking at girls, or a transition happening. Yeah, but still this fear of not being able to meet a girl that kind of meets the standards, or that I feel like, not standards, but that I feel really drawn to, or that my gut feeling tells me that that she's right.
So, tell me a little bit. You said something earlier that you say no to a lot of girls. So tell me more about that. Are girls coming up to you and saying, "Hey, Sebastian, will you be my boyfriend?" And you're saying no. How do you mean you're saying no to a lot of girls?
I mean, I feel the girls, like how they look at me, or then people telling me, she really likes you, and I mean, I feel love for a lot of people, for every people, and for a lot of girls as well. But this sexual, or feeling really attracted or drawn to a girl, like it doesn't happen that often. And oftentimes, then when I feel drawn to it in the last few days, or months at least, I was oftentimes like not going up to the girls to meet them, to get to know them, to see if we click or whatever.
And does that happen overnight, like, or does that happen immediately? So do you feel that if you are compatible or attracted to a woman, like you'll know straight away, or can that develop over time?
To be honest, in the like with the two girls I fell in love with, it was right away. Like my body tells me if it's right or not, or if I feel drawn to a girl or not. Like the energy of the girl, I can feel it, or the looks, you have it right away. But up until that point, it was always the case that I knew right from the start if I want more. And in the cases that I kind of didn't know it and just let things go, or was like pushing forward to make something happen, it was just more about myself getting gratification in a way. Like when I kissed a girl or had one night stands, it's that I with the girls that I didn't really I was really drawn to, it was not the right thing for me. That's why I kind of backed away from one night stands.
So just help me understand. I know I'm asking a lot of questions, but I'm trying to work out what's the problem right now.
Me too.
Like, is there actually an issue here that, okay, you're saying that you're drawn to very few women. There's no one in your life that you're drawn to right now. You're busy following your other passion around world peace. So what's the problem? What's the issue?
when I'm totally focused on my dreams, on my passions, like I don't think about the women stuff too much. But still, I feel like that there is this, that I should have a girlfriend, or that I could have a girlfriend, or I could have sex, but I don't really know. And that's like, I have no clue. Like with the relationship stuff right now, to be honest, I'm so overwhelmed. Like I don't really know. Like when you were talking like a few minutes ago, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like I'm lost.
So Sebastian, and it sounds like, and again, this might be stating the obvious, it sounds like you're really confused about what you want with relationships. And that's what you're getting, right? Like you're not very clear. And I agree, just because you could be in a relationship or you could be having sex, that doesn't mean you should be, right? It means you have a choice. And are you open to that? This could just simply be a choice right now for you, that you could choose to be in a relationship or you choose not to be, and neither one is right or wrong. It's just a choice.
I think it comes down to what you said, that I don't really know what I want, or what, like which direction I'm really want to go with relationships. Like if I would imagine a beautiful relationship, it would be it would be lighthearted, it would be playful, it would be with a girl I feel drawn to, and I mean, in my mind, I have that she has to be a Latina or like some um, exotic woman, because I feel like drawn to kind of like the other. Um, and I know about this. Like I did some like things that I'm looking forward to, or like that would be beautiful in a relationship. But I mean, right now it's not really manifesting. And if I would meet a girl and I would feel drawn to it, like I would know that I could be in a relationship and I want to be in a relationship.
So why is it a problem that you're not in one right now?
My body tells me that it would be nice to connect with girls also sexually. And I mean, my brother's always talking with me about this stuff, like that I should do Tinder, but I didn't really like it. And that he sees a lot of potential in me when it comes to meeting women and stuff. He's now in a relationship, like, but he also took his time off after his previous relationship. But I just feel like that I put too much pressure on it, like on myself. And
I was just about to say, it sounds like you're putting an awful lot of pressure on yourself to meet someone. And it sounds like you're taking on a lot of shoulds from other people shoulding you. You should do this, you should do that, you should be on Tinder, you should have a girlfriend. But again, it comes back down to what do you want? So the other thing that I noticed, Sebastian, is kind of how clear is your mind right now?
in this area, not very much.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to get some clarity around this issue by thinking around it more?
No.
And it sounds like that's what you've been doing. You've not been clear, and then you've been like thinking and thinking and thinking and doing some more thinking. And all that does is, it's like having a really busy road and you're just having more cars on the road to try and clear the road. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, like 3 months ago, I met a girl, like it was just the beginning of the semester, and I was out and she was like typical German, like not this exotic person that I was looking forward to. And I met her on a pub tour and stuff, and then we somehow managed to meet each other again. And I felt drawn towards her, like I really wanted to see her, and it was interesting to connect with her. And then we met the first time, and I felt that she wanted to kiss, but I was like kind of like not wanting to go, like not want to kiss her at that time. And then on the second date, we were in my sitting on my bed, and then she said, like we looked each other in the eyes, and then I felt that she's like drawn towards me. And then she stood up and was like saying, okay, I have to go home, I have to go to university, so I have to get up early. And I was like closing the door of the room and was telling her and what would happen if I would close the door, and then I kissed her. And in that moment I realized that like sexually it was not really on. That I liked her, I loved her as a person. She was outgoing, she was fun, she was nice to be around. She was like, my flatmates also liked her very much. But just like this sexual kind of like being drawn to her sexually was not there. And so I was again in this like mood, like, okay, is there a girl that has everything in a way, or like is that I feel drawn to physically, character-wise, and also sexually? And it seems like even like talking about it, my head feels like exploding, like thinking, analyzing, whatever, and trying to imagine a future or to see an opportunity that this will happen.
Well, all of that feeling that you're looking to be drawn to, that's created in your own mind. Like 100% of that is created in your own head. Right? It's why people can be sexually attracted to someone 1 minute, and then, further down the line, the person's the same person and they won't be sexually attracted to them. Or, as it happens the other way, sometimes they're not attracted to someone, they spend a bit of time with them and they become sexually attracted to them. It's not an intrinsic quality that the other person has. It's not like you are made of one code, every woman's got a different code, and you've got to find the code that matches up. That's just you overthinking it. But I'm pretty sure that there will be a hell of a lot of women out of the however many 4 billion women that are out there in the world that you would be sexually attracted to and like their personality also.
It was like when you just talked about that it comes from me, the feeling that I'm drawn to a girl. In the previous relationship, I was like going from being in love and falling out of it, like on a daily basis. Like at one point I told my ex-girlfriend, like, I love you, and on the other I was like not sure about it. Like it was like always like in between. And it was painful for me, like to be like in this unknown place where I don't really know what to do, but I still didn't take like the action or like listen to my intuition. And then also the part of like seeing her being hurt, like with my not being sure about it, and also like I I hate to hurt people or to be not like it felt like I was not totally in integrity in a way. Like I said one time this thing, and on the other day I was like saying another thing or whatever.
Do you feel like you have responsibility over how another feels?
In this last relationship, I felt like it felt like this to me. I felt like she was like a bit insecure, and I felt like that I have to take care of her feelings as well. And so when we were out, for example, when I met you in London, I also was with her in London a few months afterwards. And with you, it was like chilling. And I knew that when I met you, it was like, okay, we are like buddies or whatever. We just talked. But with her, it was like I had to take like all the responsibility. And I felt really exhausted by taking care of my state of mind and also by taking her state of mind. And I know that her state of mind is not created by me, but by herself. But still, I felt like I have to take care of two people, and it was in my head. It was just too much.
I'm not surprised it was exhausting, because you can't. You're saying that I know I can't take care of a state of mind, but then I did it anyway. Well, of course that's exhausting. It's because you can't. You have no responsibility really over, unless you're not, you're not going out. As long as you're not going out to upset someone or make someone feel bad, you've got no responsibility how they feel. You can't do, and that's a huge misunderstanding in relationships, where you think that either the other person makes you feel good or bad, or you make the other person feel good or bad. Because if you put the responsibility on someone else to make you feel, let's say, good, if you put the responsibility on someone else to make you feel good, then that puts pressure on the relationship because they can't. And if you put pressure on yourself to make someone else feel good, you also can't do that. It's impossible because the other person feels what they feel and it changes moment to moment. So you might be doing your best and they might be, having a low mood. They might be in a bad space that day. Then if you take that responsibility on for yourself, no wonder it's exhausting because you're going to be expending energy trying to change something that you can't change. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When I talked about the quote earlier on about relationship is simply about enjoying the other person, you can't enjoy the other person if you're taking on responsibility for how they feel. It's not possible because you'd be too worried about how they feel. But when you realize that's not your responsibility because you can't control how someone else feels, you don't have that power, then it's much more natural that, an outcome or a result is, well, then the purpose of relationship is just to enjoy the other person.
It feels to me with friendship, this was clear to me. Like that I don't take the responsibility for the other person's mood. And it also works fine, like when I'm with friends, like, all right, but then this relationship thing with taking responsibility, it still feels or felt like it's feel it a bit drifting away, that this is how it should work, like that, like you're the man, you're like, you have to take responsibility for your girl, whatever. But in the end, I mean, I did the best I could all the time, and I put more pressure on myself to change something, like, or to, yeah, maybe also, like, maybe I hoped that she would get more confident in a way that it wouldn't be such a big deal when there was an argument or a discussion, or when, like, there was no harmony in a way.
Tomorrow the sun's going to come up, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't need to put a lot of thought into that to make sure the sun comes up. Right? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you go, yeah, I understand that, but still at night you're like, oh, please, the sun come up, please, I've got to, and you put a lot of thought into it and a lot of pressure on yourself. It makes no difference to the sun, but it puts a lot of pressure on you. It's the same with relationships. So you can say, I see it with friendship, I see it with something else. It does not make sense for you to try and impact the way someone feels because you cannot do that. And when you see that, you more naturally just, when people say just be yourself, that's what they mean. And you are, yourself, which is your most attractive self, which is your being. And then you can enjoy the other person.
One thing I just realized is that when I started on my personal development journey, I heard a quote that really resonated with me. It said that always leave people better off than you found them. And I loved it, like to go into conversations and to meet people, and I still want to make, like, open up the space for people to have good feelings and to get back to their inner peace. But I also feel that I put like this pressure on myself when, for example, dealing with my brother having like bit of depression a few years ago, and also with the relationship, that I put the pressure on to myself that I should make it work, or that when I'm with my girlfriend, that she always has to feel better afterwards, or that I'm only successful if people leave better off than I found them.
So you want people to leave with a sense of inner peace, but how much inner peace have you got when you're thinking like that?
Okay. When it's all rolling smoothly, like the inner peace is there, like it's no problem. But the moment I feel like, oh, this person kind of like feels bad because of me, and I know, like intuitive, I know, okay, I cannot make a person feel in a specific way, but it still feels like my heart is ripped away when I meet someone and the person like leaves worse.
So that doesn't make sense. You can say, I know that I can't make the person feel anything, but when they feel bad, my heart feels ripped away. That means you don't see it. Because if you really saw that you can't make someone else feel a certain way, then your heart wouldn't feel ripped away when someone feels bad. That's a misunderstanding that you've got. That's like saying, I know the sun's going to come up in the morning, but at night I still get scared just in case it doesn't tomorrow. Well, no, that's because you don't understand that the sun's going to come up tomorrow.
It's fuck. Oh God, yeah. I feel that it still feels like so natural to me to feel negative if the person feels bad afterwards.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and what I'm pointing out to you is that doesn't make sense. That's the root cause of your misunderstanding, which is causing problems in your relationship. Imagine you met a girl, great girl, and she felt it was her responsibility to make you feel good. Can you see how that would get really annoying, or that wouldn't be a great relationship? Well, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing to your relationships. So stop doing it. unless you want the same results that you've been having so far. If you're happy with the results you're having, keep doing that. But if you don't want that, if you want to operate more in line with how life actually works, if you want to operate with reality, then you can stop doing that, because it's sabotaging your relationships.
I mean, I have this like, if I look back, I feel I have this need to apologize. Like last week, I had a coaching call with my first client, and I was not in the best mood. I was a bit tired, and I felt like he was a bit disappointed with the coaching. And afterwards, I felt like apologizing myself, or apologizing. And in that moment, I realized, okay, I don't have to apologize. I did my best, and I just sent him a video that like resonated, or like a book link, whatever, like that could help him, and he was fine with it. So in that respect, I kind of didn't take the responsibility for like the disappointment, and I just moved onwards. And I was totally focusing only on the negative part, and then like analyzing and thinking too much in the relationship. And then I was not really with the woman, even less able to just get back to my inner peace, because I was just focused on her disappointment, and I was disappointed about myself. I judged myself for not being like able to make her feel better afterwards, whatever. And it was like this vicious circle that was omnipresent in the last months of the relationship.
So are you willing to break that pattern in your next relationship? Are you willing to break that pattern in your current relationships?
Yes. It was good to let it out and share it with you, and to hear your simple pointer towards the misunderstanding.
Well, I hope that's been helpful today. I mean, we've had a little bit longer because we haven't had a second person, but I didn't want to use up the full hour. I wanted to keep it to about half an hour, 40 minutes. We've got a bunch of people who are online and have been watching us. So if you've got any questions or any thoughts, hi Niels and Arthur, I can see you've sent us a hello message, good evening message. If you've got any questions off the back of that, please do post, and I can do my best to use the last few minutes to answer any questions you have, or even if you've got any comments or thoughts, we'd love to hear them. Whilst we're waiting for people to write, I just want to say thank you, Sebastian, for being so open. Again, it does require some courage to come onto these calls, which are recorded, and kind of share your thoughts, and be open to coaching around that. So I do respect you, and thank you for that, and allowing other people to listen in, because often what we find is when people do get coaching, they can be coached on something that seems really personal to them, but there'll be someone else who's listening into it that either has the same problem, or there'll be an element of it that they can apply to their own life too.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Cool. So I haven't seen any comments come through just yet. Neil says, oh yeah, the power of simplicity. Arthur saying, thanks, Sebastian. I feel you, being in the same situation. So there we go. Someone else who can who can relate to you from the group. But once again, thanks a lot, Sebastian, for joining us live and sharing. And I hope this has been really helpful to you.
Yeah, it was.
Good. All right. Take care.